WAGME presents Meet the Homies Episode 3. Stay tuned to find out who our special guest is.
YouTube, what's up? This is your boy
What's up,
A5.
Hey, this is Crypto Addict.
Today, another special episode on Meet the Homies. We're so excited to present to you our special guest. But before we do so, hit the subscribe button, like this channel, and then leave a comment on any questions or join our live stream for sure. And hit the bell as well to tune in on these upcoming future Meet the Homies episode. But without further ado, who's our special guest,
Let's
Crypto Addict?
Introduce our guest.
Yo,
Randy, what's
Randy, what's up? Let's go.
Let's get this red.
The real Randy Chavez, y'all. Let's go. All right, man. Appreciate you so much for joining in on our second episode of WAGME Meet the Homies. So
Episode 3.
we're so glad.
Episode 3.
We're so glad you're here, man.
Yeah, say this is fun. I enjoy doing these. It's just chance to relax and chill, where I don't have to keep up with the comments. Oh, this one's saying this. Oh, fuck, super chat. Oh, no. So it's nice, relax, it's chill. I feel like drinking a glass of whiskey and be like,
oh, what's up? We have a first comment here. Mert F. Usa. Hopefully, I'm not butchering your name. He says, "Hello, Randy."
Guten Tag.
Yeah. What's up, man? Appreciate you joining the stream. All right. So I mean, we're just gonna keep it pretty chill, right? And just kind of go with the flow in this whole episode. Basically, we just want to get to know, like, the purpose of this whole series is get to know all the homies in the VEVE world. Just kind of hear y'all's story, because that's what, everyone has a story to tell in this whole situation, and this huge opportunity that VEVE is gonna bring us all. So we just want to hear everyone's story, look back and just kind of
Yeah, I mean, if I could make a story with your guys' backgrounds, it looks like almost like you modded Flappy Bird for level 1, and then it looks like after you beat level 1, you go to the second world, which is, I thought it was like like kanji writing in the background, like Asia, and then I realized, oh, it says WAGME, but in like it looks like kanji, and then
I'm so glad you're. Hey, I'm glad you're patient. I'm glad you noticed the details, man. So we're all about that.
So.
Yeah, A5 created the background, so shout outs to A5 for that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean,
love
just having fun with it. Oh yeah, man. I mean, the nostalgic, whole pixelated type. I'm all about that, and of course the cyberpunk type vibe. I'm rocking with that too. So
Into the whole 8-bit.
Yeah. But yeah,
for sure.
Let's go ahead and get this started. So, I mean, without further ado, let's just ask you some questions, just to get a little background on who you are, really. So, I mean, what were your hobbies growing up, and what are your current hobbies now, and have they changed, or just kind of give us an idea how you all started with your hobbies?
I think a lot of them did really come full circle, because all the hobbies that I did when I was a kid, I pretty much have them on my phone now, and it's just Pokemon Yellow and Gold.
Yes, yes, man. Oh my god,
yeah.
Pokemon, bro.
So I have played played and beaten every game, which I guess a lot of people do, since the 90s. But I feel like some people went away, like it wasn't cool in middle school or high school, and they came back to it in college. Like mid to late 2000s, even early 2010s, liking Pokemon was not cool. Like you had to be staying in the closet.
No way. Is that how it was Is that how it was in where you're at?
Yeah, in New York, it wasn't like. I remember when I first started learning how to box, because I had an incident when I was in 6th grade. Where these 3 dudes just showed up out of nowhere and decided to kick my ass for still liking Pokemon, and
What?
I swore revenge.
Whoa.
And I was they were like 8th graders, and I was like in 6th grade.
Just,
I was like,
just for liking Pokemon?
yeah.
Oh my god.
So after that, I was like, I'm gonna get back. So my 6th grade brain didn't think that like I'm gonna train all summer. I was like, murder these kids, but like I didn't realize that they would be going to like high school the next year, and they wouldn't be in the same school as me.
Yeah,
I was like, oh man, like I didn't realize that literally until my first day of 7th grade. Like, this is like a waste. But then like I liked it, so I kept up with it. And I actually had
that's crazy.
I had a class with 2 of them, like later when I was in 10th grade and they were in 12th grade. But like, one was like, he was like chill, the other was gay, and I knew that like it'd be like a hate crime if I like just beat him up. I was like, right, all right, that's probably not the best thing to do.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's crazy. I mean, I definitely know the vibe in New York is it's a pretty tough atmosphere to, you know, like, I mean, yeah, people that are hardcore, you know what I mean? Like if it's one thing and people don't rock with you, then you might come across the wrong person, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's what I feel.
It's so weird. People are like so tribal. It's so stupid. Like it's just, I mean, it's fun. It's funny. Like you get some really crazy characters. Like it's real. It's really, it's bananas. It's fun. But you don't really see too much of it anymore. It's like the pandemic, things are not everything is open in the city. Long Island's pretty much the same. You know, Long Island's pretty nice, pretty chill.
You know what's funny though? What I've noticed that even though it wasn't cool back then to like, you know, like mess with Pokemon or any kind of anime or stuff, nowadays that's the thing to do now, right? Like people are all about anime, people are all about Dragon Ball Z, people are all about Pokemon. I mean, where was this when we were growing up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was. Well, it took some time for people to grow up. You know, like the adults that were, you know, mature already. They, you know, their frontal cortex already formed and everything. They just didn't grow up with it. They didn't understand it, so they weren't into it. And it took 20 years for people to be like, oh, hey, you can like this and I can like this. Cool. You know, I don't like this and you don't like it, but it's all right. And then you know, people started making money with it, which is which was crazy.
And then that's when people, I guess, supposedly, you know, brought in more fan, you know, people that to get into it, I suppose, because there's money involved now. But do you still hold any like original Pokemon cards that you have as you were you know, younger?
No, I had a business that I started in 2020 that I pretty much closed up shop on, which was buying and selling Pokemon cards. And it was I put in like 30K like in early March or late February or something, and then then the pandemic hit. I was like, oh man, this is like the worst time to start a company.
I know.
But then I lucked out because everyone was home, everyone was getting money because they were on unemployment. They got bored and they just started buying Pokemon cards, and I sold everything for OMI, with the exception of, and the only reason I still have this is just because it hasn't sold yet.
Beautiful.
It's still on eBay. It's still, you know, but this is
what's
like
the grading on that? What's the grading on that? I didn't see it. Oh wow.
So, but it's an old school. This was before base set. You know, everyone considers like base set the first, but this came out before then. There's a couple of them that came out beforehand.
That's. Oh man.
So yeah, I had a bunch. I had pretty much all the popular ones I had in first edition PSA 10.
Man, that's so crazy.
Yeah, they're great.
Selling a Logan Paul, huh?
yeah. Everyone knows Charizard, which I did not have him in PSA 10. I had him in BGS 9 because PSA 10 like.
That's still so high.
Yeah. I remember having the option to buy one at like 60,000, and I was like, nah, it's gonna retrace. It's too much. But then it was not, and then it just shot up. It's like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So, but I'll probably get it at some point. You know, when OMI goes to the moon, and I decide to say like, okay, I'll get back to collecting the childhood stuff.
For sure. I mean, there's just something. I mean, we talked about this in our other stream too. But there's just something about having that physical tangibility, like having it in your hand as well, right? Like, even though yes, there's huge value with digital collectibles, but the physical part of it is like that's what we grew up with, you know. And I think our generation will continue to value that. But the upcoming generations, they're definitely going to value the digital more so, in my opinion. But
yeah,
both are good. Yeah, both are definitely going to go up in value.
Yeah, I feel like a boomer almost, because you know even like the last 10 years with like comic book shops, you know, I'd go in and buy comics, and I'd have conversations with some of the new people. Hi, Eric. And
Yo, what's up, Eric?
Some of the new kids coming in, they would buy the comics specifically just to get the QR code, just so they could read it on their phones. Like I can understand paying for like a service, pay for Marvel like $20 a month and get every comic, but you know, because you know that's the way you can read all the ones you want. But that's because you don't have the physical ones. But if you have the physical one, why don't you just read the physical? Like it's right there, and they're like, nah,
I know,
like, it's like, nah, just like read it on my phone better. It's like, oh, that still kills me. That still kills me.
Yeah.
Can't take it out the case.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like that's the thing with physicals, right? Like, I mean, it's prone to wear and tear and damage, and you know, so I mean, that's just the con of having those kind of physicals, you know. So I don't know.
So I mean, they'll always have their space. The physicals, they'll always have their niche, but the digital ones, they just grow so quickly, and that's just what the world's going to be like. Continuing going on, it's not going to go backwards. So.
Nah. But yeah, for sure.
Cool. Let's get on to what actually made you want to start like your YouTube channel?
So actually, if you go back on my, like, if you sort from like oldest to newest, I actually made a couple videos in like 2014, 2015. I was like, I was in the military at the time, and I was kind of into politics a bit. And I just want I just wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because everyone around me was always like trying to just like get drunk and, you know, go be with girls. Which is fine. You know, you gotta do that.
I mean,
but I, you know, I had other interests as well. And then I just wanted to talk about it. And then I kind of stopped. I made like a video maybe like once every like year or something like that. But when I really did start it was 2020. I was there was a place called E4, where it stands for like Elite Four, like Pokemon, where people would go, and it's like subreddit for Pokemon. It's like Reddit for Pokemon cards. There's places like, hey, you know, what's new? What's my recent purchases? What is my recent things that I sold? And there was one called like sold products, where they would talk about the new record price points for things.
Yeah.
And every like 6 weeks, this giant auction house called PWCC would go, and you could submit cards to them, and they would sell them for you, and it just reaches a much larger audience. And I would go crazy looking at that, like this first edition Nidoran PSA 10 and this first edition Cat, and I wanted to talk about all of them, but I was clogging up the feed, and everyone's like, "Yo, guy, like, calm down. Like, not everyone needs to be talked about." I was like,
man, we're the same way. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I started the YouTube channel, and I was specifically talking about Pokemon sales data, and it was talking about how, you know, new record price points, and eventually I found out a pattern that says, you know, I've looked at this every single way, and it seems like the first edition PSA 9 of, let's say, like a Dark for Alligator, or you have Blaine's Charizard, or a PSA 10 would sell for between 5 and 8 times what the 9 is selling for on average. And then, you know, I would say, like, if something is go way high or way low, it means one of the things is undervalued. So I had maybe like 100 subscribers at the time, like 120, 150 maybe. And then I just, you know, maybe a couple people were listening, but I cleaned up house, where I saw, like, you know, first edition PSA 10 Laprases go for like 5K, you know, or 4K at the time. And then the PSA 9s were going for like $80. So I was like, this doesn't make sense at all. Other first edition PSA 9 hollows that were going for like $20. Like, that's exactly how much it costs just to grade the card. Like, this is so stupid. And so I spent so much money, and then eventually people were like, hey, you know what? I want to get into this. Oh, it costs this much to grade the card. I might as well just buy somebody else's. And those prices went haywire. Those went insane. And then I got into Earth 2, because it was my first introduction to like a metaverse, and it was one of the biggest ones. It's insane. So I really started talking about that a lot, and then I started talking. I started about Tesla a little bit beforehand because I really love that company, and I feel like everyone on like MSNBC. This is what I don't. And I know it's a really long answer. I'm sorry, I'm trying to shorten it.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
You're good.
Okay. You're good, man.
I noticed that places like CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, wherever, they were all talking crap about Tesla, and they were saying it's way overvalued. It's way overvalued. And I'm trying to think like it's really not though. And I look at all the data. Look at why they say okay, they're not profitable. Okay, well, why aren't they not profitable? Mm-hmm. And to go and I'm looking and say, okay, well, it's because that they're using the money
they're reinvesting.
To make a whole new car, a whole new line. They're using it to build out a new gigafactory.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they're trying. And what I realized is that what these giant agencies did was they took people that are used to valuing car companies like GM or Toyota, and they used that same metric to try to value Tesla, but they're more of a tech company. And the cars they sell cars, but they also sell full self-driving, and they sell, all these safety features, and it's completely different in the way that they are valued, but nobody was looking at it that way. So I started talking about that, and then eventually,
what price was Tesla during that time, if you could recall?
It was pre-split, and this is before I started talking about it. It was pre-split at 900, and then the pandemic happened. It went down to like 350. And I was like, listen, I thought this was undervalued at 900. And so I bought as much as I could.
Right.
And, when it got back up to 900, my business partner, Dan, he said, hey, listen, you made like almost 3x your money. Now's the time to take some profit, and then just play with house and take your initial investment out, keep some money on the table. I was like, no, you need to go all, like, I was not listening. I was just like, blinders on.
You had that conviction. You had that conviction.
Yeah. Like they put everything into it. He's like, dude, that's not good. It's not good. I was like, no. So and then it went to like 2,500 before the split, and and then it split, and then it's crazy time.
Wow, man, that's crazy how much conviction you can have with. You've done the research, right? Like, you've done the research, you know the valuation of a particular asset or a company, and you just kind of ran with it, and that's true. That's the best way to do it, right? You don't want to be swayed by like media, right? Because they're always going to fill you in with like positive news or negative news, right? Like, if you understand the value of a company, you got to stick with it, and that's the best way to invest, in my opinion, right? Like, same thing with like VEVE collectibles. If you see something that is pleasing to your eyes and the value of it, why not buy it, right? Because it's at the end of the day, it's your money. So
and this is getting. I feel like I'm gonna have to differentiate this a couple of times, or pretty much at the start of every video. Like I say, not a financial advisor. I will say that a lot of my collections that I've been doing now is really just collecting what I like. And I know there are crazy, amazing opportunities, I still have Wonder Woman, and I actually just bought another first appearance Harley Quinn, because I was at like 948 and dumps down to like 725. Like, of course I'm gonna buy. Like, people are already paying this for it. So I decided to go and, but again, I do a lot of flipping with that. But what I like is I like Marvel, and I like the alligator Lokis, and I tell people consistently. Like the other day I said, like, listen, if anyone were to ask me what's like a good safe thing, I was like, Superman is going to be one. It's one of the best looking on the app, and it is one of the there's only one Superman right now. There's a whole bunch of others, but there's one Superman
for sure.
And I was like, listen, alligator Loki had like 2 episodes in the whole Loki series, and
right.
God forbid there's like a kid that gets eaten by a gator, falls into an enclosure, and we have Harambe, but it's alligator version. And Disney decides, hey man, got to cut alligator Loki. Like this could all go to crap.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm buying because I like them. Like eventually, when Pokemon comes out, I will sell my Eddie Riso Batman. Well, I have two of them, but I'll sell one. I'll sell my number 47 Secret Rare Captain America, my number 43 Secret Rare Storm, and my sub 100 Ultra Rare Spider-Man. And I'll get a floor, Ultra Rare Spider-Man just to still have the set. But I'll sell all of that for Pokemon, knowing full well that I probably won't make as much gains because those floors will be so high as soon as those market comes out.
Yeah.
And I'll do it just because that's what I like.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Or if I were to hodl every one of those,
so whatever you enjoy.
Yeah. I know if I were to hodl every one of those, that those would make me more as opposed to trying to buy. Oh, and now again, I could get lucky, but I feel like with Pokemon, it's not, well, everyone loves it, and it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be insane.
I know, like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's.
We had some comments here. We want to.
Oh yeah, we have a question.
On these.
Sorry about that. Says from Zach. It says, "Hey, what do you think about renting our NFTs? If they pay us in OMI or gems, wouldn't that cause a problem with making them a security? That's why I think they'll give us MCP for renting."
I mean, they might. I mean, and you do need to be in that certain tier to be able to rent.
Yeah.
But I think if it was for dollars, you might be right. Or maybe only, but if you do it for gems, the gems that's funny money. It has value because we say it does, and that's their stable coin. It's pinned to the dollar. It'll always be $1. But how did they get around that in Zoe 101, where Logan's talking to Chase, and he's like, hey, what we can do to get you elected president of the school is we can give out Chase bucks. You can't give out money, that's illegal, but you can give out Chase bucks, which are redeemable at any school store. So they might not be able to do it for OMI, but we can get gems for it, and then we'll be able to go and buy some NFT with those gems, and then be able to sell that NFT for OMI. So maybe it's not right, direct, but there's a way around it. There's always going to be a way around it.
Yeah, and that's why like stable coins are like huge right now in crypto, just because like people are buying some crypto and then just going into stable coins or whatever stable asset, right? So yeah, like you mentioned, like there's just a way around it somehow. Yeah. Yeah, good question. Sure. Good question, Zach.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Zach.
Appreciate that. And then says Ben Carter. Hey, Randy, just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for all your hard work keeping us informed.
Oh, thank you, Ben. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, people are awesome. People are really cool. Nobody thinks your alligator Loki can go big upside or just collecting because they like it. I mean, I'm collecting because I like it. And I told people that, I do have a theory. I first started buying it because it was a Marvel Secret Rare that had the lowest amount of mints. And it was pretty cheap at the time. It was like $800. And I was like, I think that this is very susceptible to people creating almost like a knockoff mutual fund, getting like 10 people together and they could buy up the whole thing. And they wouldn't be able to, people wouldn't be able to get it. And so I started buying some then. I was also a little tipsy, but I started buying some then, and then
perfect time to buy.
It's gonna be a story for everything you purchase.
So I got more into it, and well, now it's become kind of almost part of my identity. People are just like, internet is so fast with things. Internet is so quick.
Internet always wins, just so you know. Internet always wins.
It does, man. I've had fan art of it, like just recently. But the more I really looked into it, I did like a deep dive on Alligator Loki. There's the fan art, the real Randy Chavez.
Dope.
With like the alligator horns.
Alligator. Oh man, that's badass.
Yeah. So I looked at it and I was like, okay, well, what do we know? We know that he is a fan favorite, and he did survive Loki season 2. Loki took him along the lines of, at the end. So he'll probably be in Loki season 2, and he will probably, they are setting up for a Young Avengers. They're going to have Iron Lad. They have Wiccan and Speed already with WandaVision. Or I'm sorry, they're going to have Ironheart. And they do have Kid Loki is on the Avengers and the Young Avengers. They do have that young Hawkeye girl, Kate Bishop. And I was like, okay, so if Kid Loki is going to be on the Young Avengers, he's probably going to take Alligator Loki with him. Yeah. It would make sense. Like, if nobody liked Alligator Loki, I would say then maybe they'd be able to go and they'd be able to go and just say, like, leave him, like he belongs to the swamp. But IGN.com on YouTube has 3.4 million followers, and they ask people who's your favorite Loki. And number 2, that's right next to Sylvie, is Alligator Loki.
Alligator.
And when you go and you look at the comments, there is nothing but gators. Like, gators.
Wow.
Every single person was answering gators, and I was like, oh my god. Like,
why is that? Wait, why is he the? Is it just because it's a random ass alligator? Is that why he's the fan favorite, or what?
Yeah. Like, so there's yes, it is very outrageous.
It's like a meme in a way. It's like a meme.
It was based off a real alligator as well.
Yeah.
And then also there's this one channel on YouTube called Emergency Awesome.
Yeah.
And Emergency Awesome has 4 million subscribers. And he goes and he talks about every single Marvel thing, and he just reviews it, saying what happened, what the Easter eggs are, and he's covered Alligator Loki a couple times, and he's deemed him superior Loki. Like, this is the one's my favorite, is everyone's favorite, and there was a YouTube series of people like reacting. Like, there was maybe like 8 or 10 channels that all react, like they live react to the episodes, like they do with Mandalorian and they do with Boba Fett, and they all, every single one of them had just said, "Yo, this character's my favorite." So not only do I think he will be also in the Young Avengers, they are setting up, I believe, the Pet Avengers as well. And if you don't know what that is,
the Pet Avengers.
Yeah, it's really cool. So they already have Throg. Throg is Walter Simonson or Simon Walterson. The creator is Simon Walterson or Walter Simonson, and the Throg character is that they switched them. So he's part of it. Lockjaw is part of the Inhumans. He's part of it. He's a dog. Kitty Pryde has a cat. No, she has a dragon. Aunt May has a dog. That's part of it. But I think they are setting that up for that, and it would be interesting to see Loki the Gator go from the Young Avengers over to the Pet Avengers. I mean, when Disney doesn't do things by accident. There's a reason why they had Marvel. Be their first one. Spiderman, because that's the first one.
Because he's like the most popular superhero in the world, technically, right? So
if you go down the line and you take a look at, okay, well, what's the first X-Men? The first X-Men is Storm. That wasn't like the first whatever. Then it's Throg, but the first Loki, like, it didn't say like first animal. It didn't say first Pet Avenger. It was the alligator. So I think Kevin Feige loves animals. Like, in Captain Marvel, he like loved the cat. So
man, you're making me want to get an alligator Loki now.
Yeah, like, I want a Loki alligator.
Yeah.
So nobody I feel like was
everyone's sleeping on it for sure. And
they did, and I was like, and now you could make the argument that, well, I used to be like super like conspiracy theorist, like full on Alex Jones at the Return of the Frogs, like hardcore. So you could make the argument, like, Chavez, I think you're connecting dots that aren't there. Yeah. And maybe that's correct. But I've also used that conspiracy mind to see, like, really deep dive into Tesla and Pokemon cards and Earth 2 and OMI. So I don't know. It could all go to zero. It could all go to
no, for sure. Yeah, it could definitely.
I'm so hard on it.
Not financial
I'm
advice,
y'all.
Definitely
feeling the FOMO right now.
Yeah, for sure. But awesome, let's see. We have some comments here. Let's we have interesting. Zach said, "You're welcome, Zach." And then we have Lloyd Brenner with a comment here. It says, "Hey Randy, for all the things I could go to rehab for, I never thought it would be over." Marvel NFTs. Oh god,
that's great. But yeah,
that's awesome.
I think that this is addicting, and I have less than $3,000 between both my accounts, And I thank God for YouTube and Patreon and the fridge, because I would not be able to pay rent because of these NFTs. It's nuts.
Crazy. And we have Gooseneck says, how many million OMI tokens could get for once?
I mean, if
a friend was asking,
50,000 for the floor, should be about 250 for the sub 100 floor. Or no, I'm sorry, it should be about, so it would be 2.5 times. So it'd be about maybe 125, but you actually can't get anything for 125 sub 100. I think the cheapest was 250, and I mean, if you go on and you put something for 125 sub 100, you'd probably get it. So let's say $125,000 would be that. So figure 25 million OMI, give or take. If it's 0.005, you probably get about.
Yeah.
But also, you'd probably have to take in consideration that because gems are bought, you need a discount for it. So let's say, let's say 120. Not that. 20 million OMI, give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Probably about right.
Great question, Gooseneck. Appreciate it. So, I mean, are you invested in any other crypto, or is OMI just like straight up your bag?
Yeah, I originally, early last year, my idea was to just put everything into Bitcoin. It was just to go, and I would have three things. I would just have Earth 2, Bitcoin, and a couple Pokemon cards. But then I found OMI. I was like, I already had a Bitcoin at the time, and I was like, I'll keep the Bitcoin, I'll sell the Tesla, I'll sell the Pokemon cards, and I'll put but then I just sold them. I was like, this is stupid. And it was right,
Yeah.
Just all in.
Yeah, all in. So I only have I mean, I do have Essence in Earth 2, which will be a crypto at some point. Yeah. It might take a month or two though.
Gotcha.
Cool. So I have a question for you, kind of VeVe related here. I want to know what your two most precious NFTs are on VeVe that you currently have. And if you had to sell one of the two, which of the two would you sell and why?
It'd probably be the secret rare Spiderman, which is mint like 393. It's nothing like, it's not like super low or anything. And then it's number 47 Captain America, secret rare. And I think I would probably sell the secret rare Captain America, because I have two of them. I have one that's like a random mint number, and another one that's number 47. And if I did have to sell one, like, if I had to, even if I only had one secret rare Captain America and it was that one, well, I would sell that one, because the floor of another secret rare Captain America is like $6,600. The secret rare Spider-Man is not a sub 100, so I could only get the floor, and then the floor it's so huge, it's so nuts. I would not. So I would say the secret rare Captain America.
So carrying off of that, so you have your secret rare Spider-Man, right? And so let's say VeVe decides to drop a certain collectible. Which collectible would it take? I'll list a few. Let's say out of these collectibles, which one would you sell your Spider-Man for? Okay. And so let's say they release a Darth Vader. Would you sell your Spider-Man for Darth Vader?
I mean, I guess it depends on if it's a guaranteed that I could get one, and how many
just
there were.
A direct trade, just a swap.
Probably not.
No,
and I love Vader, but probably not.
What about Charizard?
Yeah, I probably would.
You go for a Charizard?
Yeah, and knowing that, it's a coin flip, and Charizard might not, if it's already at 50K, if it's the same thing, and maybe I don't make huge profit from it. Spider-Man keeps running, and Charizard, only goes to a certain point. I just like Charizard better. I like Pokemon better. So
yeah.
What about Mario?
Oh, so I love Mario. So like the last few things, like I love Pokemon, Gyarados on my shirt.
Let's go.
And I love Mario. I have a Bowser jacket over here. And I actually have Mario on my arm. I got
Oh, dope. Oh, and the Zelda
yeah,
tattoo.
Zelda and Yoshi.
Nice, Yoshi. Sick.
But that's hard. That is hard. You know, I never actually played a lot of Spider-Man video games, and I played a lot of the Mario games, but that is a hard one. I think because of what Spider-Man means to the world, that's more of a flex. That's more of a social capital, and I feel like people are talking about that a little bit. They're saying like, oh, hey, once you know, these football players or these basketball players start taking pictures of these, it's over. And they're right that the prize will rise. They'll go to the moon. They'll be unattainable. They'll be a Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Yeah,
for sure.
Only the rich and the famous will be able to get one. But people are not saying that. There's this example of this kid. He's like 25. Well, I mean, he's a man, but he's 25, and he said that, like, you know, he bought his Bored Ape Yacht Club when it was like nothing. It was like a couple grand.
Yeah.
And he says that everyone keeps telling him to sell right now, lock in the profits, do something else with it. And he's saying no, not because he thinks that they're wrong.
Right.
He's not disagreeing with them.
Right.
He says, because if I do that, I will never be able to party and connect with the people, like, you know, DJ Khaled, Eminem,
it's the community.
Like you cannot pay for that. Like in that first episode of the first movie of Batman, where Falcone goes to Bruce Wayne and he said, like, there's 2 off-duty cops. There's a federal judge. I would have no issue shooting you right now because I own all these guys. That is power you cannot buy, Mr. Wayne. And I look at that at the same exact thing, where if you wanted to go and, you know, party with these, maybe you could get, like, if Eminem does like a private show, you could pay him like with them, or DJ Khaled doing a private show, you might be able to pay for it. But how many times can you do that? Where you
for sure.
You could just hold this, and how much are those memories worth?
Yeah.
You know, clearly it's worth more than $450,000 to this guy.
Yeah.
So,
I totally agree with you. Like, that's the thing with the value that NFTs or digital collectibles can bring to this world, right? Is like having that kind of social connections, because we as humans, we naturally want to gravitate towards other people and be a part of something, right? Be a part of something greater. And then, you know, like, I'm a true believer that everyone in this world is not meant to be alone. You know, we thrive and we long for that kind of social connection and that belongingness to anything, really, right? And that's why we have hobbies. This is why we have interests. This is why we do things that have common with other folks. You know, like. And that's what NFT is bringing to this space, and which is why I totally understand why that kid, the 25-year-old gentleman, didn't want to sell his Bored Ape, because now he's like he could easily flex, but also at the same time be a part of this. Yeah, sure. It's a huge flex now because you're a Bored Ape. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy to say.
Yeah. So I guess there's 2 parts of me. You know, there's one that is, you know, like what Eminem says and Sing for the Moment, like, you know, rap is an expression of self. Yeah. And, you know, like, how am I going to express myself with NFTs? Well, right now I'm King Loki Gator, but in like the next year, I'll be King Bulbasaur. You know, I'll be King. You know, I'll
there you go.
Squirtle and you know, but then the other side of me is just like, yeah, what is that social capital? Like, if, you know, if everyone has that, for, you know, if the people that are really cool, the people that I like have that, I want to get that. Or let's say if, like, you know, Lindsay Sterling comes in and she's like, you know, I like the Pokemon Eevee, and she gets one of those. Well, I was going to get Eevee anyway, probably, but I want to get the same thing that she gets because I really love her. How many people are going to go ape into something because their favorite celebrity got one of those? Even if it's not, like, let's say, you know, you have someone that's like our age, let's say like Ariana Grande, you know, she has an Eevee tattoo, actually. I think that's why I thought of her. But let's say she liked Adventure Time, and she's like, oh, look, I just got a Princess Bubblegum from my favorite show, yay. And then like all of like the simps are just gonna absolutely but then the people that just really love her are just that. Like, I remember when Kylie Jenner first said that, she tweeted, like, does anyone even open Snapchat anymore? And the company just took a dump. Like, that's a tweet from one girl. Like, no malicious intent, I don't think. I don't think she's smart enough to be like, I'm going to short the budget of these guys. I would respect her so much more if she did. But, if Harley, if who's Margot Robbie goes in and she gets, a Stephen Pugh Harley Quinn NFT, and then she gets one, and there's only 500 of her, those will be worth $100,000 overnight. So there's a bunch of things that could happen in this next few months.
For sure.
Yeah, let's answer some questions here in the comments. We have Brennan Him says, do we talk 5 most slept on collectible in comics? Well, we talked about one already, right? Alligator Loki, that's one. I would say.
I don't know if he's really slept on anymore, because I mean, I've made videos about Cody Thrive made like 2 videos about me talking about him. I thought that was pretty funny. But also, when Ray Fixie tweeted this morning saying like, told you all not to sleep on Alligator Loki, and I didn't know he was buying. I had zero idea that he was in it. I mean, they're already at like 34. They were at 4K at one point. They're like 31, 3,400, whatever. And that's worth like over $1,000 more than Deadpool, who's got 2 movies. He's going to be in a third. It'll be of Avengers crossover. Storm's been in 3 movies. She's going to be in Black Panther. Loki, so higher than all of them so far. And should he be? Probably not. But when you have people like more between me and 3 others, more than 10% of the supply is locked up. So that's a lot. there's a lot that is not going to go into circulation. So there's one.
And this is the secret rare Alligator Loki. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah, secret rare. With the comics, I think that comics in general are slept on. If you talk to Sleep in Comics or Comics in Crypto, they know as much, if not more, about comics as I do about Pokemon. And I lived and breathed Pokemon for most of my life. Like, not even adult life, like 7 years old and above. And they say that, like, it's a lunacy that Fantastic Four #1, Fantastic Four #5, like Journey into Smith, there's a bunch of these comics that they're just like
like Daredevil as well. Like, these are, I remember reading Sleep in Comics, like he had like a list of like S-tiered comics, and I was observing the market, and I was like, wow, these are definitely slept on. Even Thanos is truly slept on. He's like one of the greatest villains in the Marvel universe, and he's like way undervalued. So what I thought was gonna happen in Endgame was that I thought they were going to, with Captain Marvel there, that they were going to kill Thanos. And then when they went to bring people back, they would do it wrong. And I thought that if in Thor Ragnarok, Hela, who's basically goddess of death, was killed by Surtur, I thought that they would be in hell, and they would come back that way. I didn't know they'd do all the time travel stuff. But Thanos, like, and maybe they still might, when he was snapped, he might have gone to hell or whatever, and they might do that again in the future. But in I forget which comic book run it was, there's like the lead up to like Secret Wars. There was one person that basically the multiverse is collapsing, and one world is going to crash into another world, and you have only a few hours to be able to either figure it out and destroy that world, or you both die. So what somebody does, they release all of the villains. They release Thanos and like Dormammu. They release everybody just to like chaos and hopefully try to figure out what goes on. And I think Thanos will come back also. That basically what I'm saying is Thanos will come back. It was a really long explanation. I'm so sorry about that.
Long story short, he's returning.
No worries. So what would you say top 5 most slept on collectibles? If you could list them out on your top of your head right now.
I think, I don't know what she's not slept on. I think she's just undervalued. I think the first appearance Joker, first appearance Harley. I think the Wonder Woman definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, and I'm not like trying to homo or thing into DC. But I think those 3 are really good.
That's all season 1.
Yeah. Well, except for Wonder
season 2.
Yeah, Wonder Woman season 2. But honestly,
Harley was season 2. Yeah.
What Harley?
First appearance, the black and white. Are you talking about black and white or?
Yeah, black and white. She was season 1, wasn't she? Or am I tripping?
She's part of season 1. She's part of season 1.
Yeah.
She was
series 2.
Series 2.
Sorry. Series 3. Joker was series 2. She was series 3. Anyway. So those 3 are really good. I think so. This one might be, and he might not be anymore, or probably not anymore. Like yesterday, the zombie Captain America, the common, was like $41, and that's $9 under retail. So I was like, things never stay there for that long. So him, and then he's above retail now, but I do look at the uncommon Groot, which is selling about at retail, and that's animated. And then the common Groot, which was at like $12 or $14 below retail, it's at like $32 now, so it's like $8 below retail. Yeah. And I get it, there's 28,000 mints of him, but I do like him, and the whole Groot set I really like.
Yeah, I mean, first appearance, I mean, you can't go wrong with Guardians of the Galaxy, big, well-known, cute character, iconic.
It's an animated uncommon. I think that's the only animated uncommon.
Yeah, the animated rare and uncommon, the only ones.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that, I mean, the floor, like the ceiling to go up for Groot in that situation is definitely greater. I mean, your odds are greater versus it going to 0, right? I mean, I think that's a clear bet right there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of room for Groot to grow. He's still a little baby right now.
Yeah. All right, and Brandon said also great content. Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, man.
He also asked another question: what project would you like to see in the OMI verse?
VEVE-verse.
Let's see 2 in the VEVE verse. I would like to see Earth 2 do a collab at some point, and I would like to see Brock McBlockchain, our favorite bread cat. He's on Twitter. He has the fiches, I would like to see interoperability where you'd be able to go and take your collectibles and put it in an
aquarium and like
or be able to take your fiche and put them in water, because I do think the VEVE-verse will have weather. I think there will be certain parts that are desert, certain parts that are like swamplands, certain ones that are oceans, and I would like to see fiche there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's nice.
Sweet.
Unless he was trying to talk about like what projects are not metaverses but are going to be metaverses, and in which case, well, Pokemon, obviously.
Pokemon, yes, that's awesome. That's what I was thinking. For sure. It's just only a matter of time, I suppose.
Yeah. But I would also, I guess, I would like to see you know how in Pokemon Gold and Silver, where you can go back to the Kanto region, you go to Goldenrod City and you take a train to Saffron, and from Saffron back to Goldenrod. Yeah, I would like to see a way that, hey, we have a Star Trek space station, or we have a Star Wars. You can be able to go to Tatooine or Coruscant, but you need to have these certain vehicles. Like if you have the USS Enterprise, you can go to Star Trek Land. Yeah. If you have Luke's X-wing, or you have the Slave One Boba Fett ship, you can go to Tatooine or Coruscant. I think that would be really cool. And the only way to get there is to have them as transportation. And that's real utility, saying like, oh, I want to give people rides. Let's go. 1 gem each. That'd be fun.
Dope. Yeah, and that's where
the car rental service.
Yeah, that's where the renting aspect of renting your NFTs out will definitely come into play. So
100%.
Yeah. Or what if you had just like a certain land that you can buy in the VEVE-verse that's kind of stored away in a certain spot where you can't get there without a certain vehicle, and you could have like just like an OG island or something, and you can't see the OG islands unless you actually take either like the starship or something over there, and Yeah, that'll be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I would like in your background. It looks like a level in Legacy of Goku 2, from the Dragon Ball Z video game series, where there's an island. There's a bunch of like crocodiles or alligators, and I think there's a Dragon Ball on there that he has to collect. But I would love my two things in the VV verse is going to be trying to buy land that is as close as I can get to Marvel Land, VV City, like the main area.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But my other strategy is to go where nobody's thinking, and I just want to buy up everything. It's like, I don't want land there. That's stupid. There's no benefits to being there. I was like, well, I'm going to make it so that there are benefits. Like, and then use the Chavez brand to make it, like an oasis in the desert, or I'll make it like a, just something really cool. I don't know if you'll be able to terraform the land or anything, but I do want to give it that utility, that awesome stuff.
For sure.
So about you
Yeah, one
guys, you
more.
gonna get land, or you're just like, nah, I'm just in it for the collectibles,
I'm for sure gonna get land.
No, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Land is definitely important. I mean, if you think about real estate in real life, why wouldn't real estate in the VV verse or any kind of multi metaverse would be valuable? So yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
I
for
mean,
sure.
even if you can get land on a certain property next to like Disney World or something, for sure.
Yeah.
Like even if that's not where you're putting your house down, you can throw up a billboard there to advertise your actual property in the desert, and you're kind of funneling your traffic to your own destination from just
There you
one
go.
plot of land next to it.
Yeah.
It's a really
And
good
if you don't
point.
want to advertise yours, you could advertise someone else's, get some some rent payment off of that too.
That
There
is a
you go.
good point. We will. Passive
Yeah.
income is what everyone wants. Can't
That's
wait for
right.
it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the opportunities they seem endless. So
But they are.
Yeah,
They
for
are
sure.
100%.
Land is valuable, yeah, because you can funnel a lot of things from just having property.
Yeah,
so
so-
where do you
Yeah.
where do, oh, go ahead. We'll answer this question. It says, is going after sets a better long-term strategy for MCP points, being it is impossible to get drops anymore, or do you think VV will increase the percentage of the drop for MCP up to 25% plus? Gooseneck.
I don't think that they have given us enough information.
Yeah.
And the reason why I think that is because if you look at it right now, let's say you have 40 sets. Let's say you're doing good. And like, hey, I put a lot of money into this. And you complete sets, not because you like the characters, not because you know that they'll moon, because a lot of these, they won't, some will moon harder than others, and we know which ones they are, mostly. Like, I'm pretty sure I'd rather hold a Marvel over a Cryptkin, even though I still have a couple of mine. Or Marvel or DC over Cryptkin, and I still have some of my Cryptkins, and I don't have some of the DC ones.
Yeah.
If you look at it right now, or look at when is that going to come out? Let's say later this year. Let's say mid this year we have 10 million users. Okay, well, and you can only use the Master Collector points pretty much every 6 months. You can use them whenever you want, but you have to use them every
Within
6 months.
Yeah.
And if you go and you say, let's say we have 10 million users at this point. Okay, well, out of 10 million users, let's say 1% of them are wealthy and they have more than you. And this is, so let's say that is 100,000 people that have, 70 sets and above, 80 sets and above. Like if you go to at Wet Wizard BV, the dude's got 90 sets, not including comics. And if you go and you say, hey, you know what? Out of the 100,000 people that are there, they're all going to go for Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. They're all going to go for Simba and Nala. They're all going to go for Pikachu and Charizard. What chance do we have if we have 40 sets or 50 sets and below? Like, are we going to try to complete 5 more sets, to get the points?
Yeah.
I think right now those points are meaningless because everybody with 60 sets and above are just going to outspend you with their points. So that's why I think they haven't revealed to us everything yet. Because right now, like, there's almost no point. Like, that's just my opinion.
I personally feel that these MCP points, they're going to need more utility for this, because right now, like I asked you earlier, what you would trade your Spider-Man for, and there's only a few that you actually would. So what would you actually be willing to really want? Because there's going to be a point where all these collectibles are not in demand, you know, and not everything is going to sell out because there's going to be so many. It's going to be so saturated. So at what point does it really matter if you use your MCP points to get a drop if those drops are not going to be selling out instantly anymore because the demand is just not going to be as high? So I think they're going to need more utility.
I think they'll always be warranted and coveted because there's so few. I mean, you know, 28,000 Groots is a lot, but you know, that's a lot. I'm trying to think of the highest mints that we have. You know, that some of the Marvel Mighties, you know, like the Mr. Fantastic, 28,000, 29,000 mints. But I've even made the argument that even if they had 100,000, you know, let's say starters, let's say they had 100,000 each, you know, the whole Spiderman NFTs, all of them together were like 100,000, like 96,000. But if they had 4 starters, you know, they had, you know, Bulbasaur, Pikachu, Squirtle, and Charmander at 100,000 each. That seems like a lot. That's almost 4x sort of what we have now, but that is not going to be enough. And I get it. That's you know, Pokemon. Everyone's going to want that.
You got 150 of those that you're going to want.
Yeah, I would try to get 1%. Like it's like not easy, but it's easier to get 1% of like something like that is really, you know, kind of like that's still kind of low mint, you know, that like under 10,000, but it's still very, very cheap. But you getting 1% of the supply of those are just going to be impossible because they're going to be you need hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it.
Yeah,
so it's very hard.
Yeah,
but
sure.
That's just my opinion on that. Gooseneck is cool. I see Gooseneck on the channel a lot. He cool. He chilly.
Appreciate that, Gooseneck.
Yeah, Gooseneck. But those are just links. Those are just like spam bots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no guts, no glory. Oh, 88 Wonder Woman. Nice. Oh,
wow. Yeah.
Good for you, mate. Good for you.
Great play. Great play. Yeah.
I forget who it is. There is somebody that collects those mints. Heard or term, Taco Bell and Wendy's too.
Hey.
My man.
Hey. Not gonna lie, the crunch supreme goes really hard at Taco Bell. That's all I get, really, if I do go there.
Yeah, they make amazing stuff. It's almost not fair.
And Goose Point said, "Good point, Randy."
Thank you, Thank you.
Appreciate
we will be able to spend our Master Collector points at like they'll have a VV store, and if we want something like for our virtual house, like a couch or you know whatever, we could spend OMI or we could spend points there, which I think is really genius because that's something that costs them so little. They don't have to get it from a license or whatever. It costs them so little.
All the
and
accessories.
for the most part, it's pure profit. So your pure burn of the OMI. It's insane.
Yep. I think that would be great for the OMI price as well. That's a good thing for OMI.
Yeah, I can't wait. A lot of people really want this to moon, and of course I do. You know, I'm ready. Trust me, I'm ready. But the longer it stays at these prices, or even lower, the more OMI we burn. Like we burned 100 million OMI yesterday, and there was no drop. There was no collectibles that were that existed newer yesterday than there were before the day before. And which is bananas. So I'm very excited for the future.
Yeah. So
how early were you in OMI, or if you don't mind sharing, like what price did you kind of as early as you got in?
It was last year. I started buying between 0.007 and 0.008.
Yeah.
And then it started going down, and at like 0.0055, I was like, I guess I'll buy some more, and then I buy more and more, and then
average your price out. Yeah. And
then in July, I was just so convinced. That's when I sold all my Tesla. That's when I sold all that big Pokemon card. You know, pretty much all of them, and so I did really good at like 0.0028 was most of my entry point.
Yeah. Wow. So that brings your average about 0.004, around there.
Yeah, whatever. About,
that's crazy.
430, 450 into it.
Man,
that's really good. So
Yeah.
with like the OMI migration coming underway, like what do you actually plan on doing with your OMI? Are you trying to put everything on like layer 2, or you're planning on keeping like half and half? Like what are you actually planning on doing once the migration
I
comes
would
up?
I would sell enough to pay taxes, which is gonna
Mhm.
suck this year. But um, yeah, so I'll sell enough to pay for that,
Yeah.
and then maybe go to Florida. Me and the girlfriend will get a place together, and
Nice.
once I'm able to do that, I can. I only just want to sell enough for that. The rest, I'm pretty. I don't. I'll put enough in the app to stake.
Yeah.
But and maybe when drops come in, but for the most part, I'm just gonna keep my OMI and trust wallets because I don't. God forbid they're on an exchange that gets hacked, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm only
I
going
know
to
all
send them to
about that.
exchanges when I need to sell, which hopefully is the goal is to only sell like after this year. I'm going to have to sell a couple million, but is to only sell 1 million per year and just live off that and have that pay for the previous year's taxes, whatever. So the goal would be by 2030 to still have 100 million, and by that point, I'm pretty sure it will be a couple dollars. So.
Crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy to think
Yeah, I think
how.
you'll be good.
That's crazy to think how much like the potential. Because right now we're at less than a penny, right? So thinking about it going to like a couple of dollars is insane because the market cap would have to be. I mean, I don't know. It would have to be in the trillions, right? Or billions, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it'd be trillions, but
With the-
I
Trillion,
mean,
yeah.
but that's
the
at
supply
the
would be burned
but that's
as
at
well.
the current supply. The supply
Yeah.
will decrease. I mean, it will go up. We do have some more token unlocks in February.
Yeah.
But that's it. That is the last time, and then
Mhm.
after that, we can. It'll only start to decrease, and
Yeah.
I think by then, by that point, after 10 years,
Yeah.
well, 8 years. I mean, we're 2022 now, so 8 years. Oh man, we're already 2022. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think that there'll be a lot that's going to be burned,
Yeah.
and there's there's a lot of utility. Like I told people, if OMI is at 5 cents or more,
Yeah.
and we have Pokemon, and if it's before China gets in, I'll spend
Yeah.
I'll spend 100 grand, like with
Yeah.
OMI, like just through now. Even if China gets on, I'm probably going to do it anyway, just because I love
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean it's just a matter.
On
It's just
splurging on Pokemon.
it's just a matter of time until they incorporate like other languages, right? Is that what's holding back from China or Japan or any other like countries coming into the VV app, right?
Yeah, it's localization. They'll
Yeah.
have that probably by Q2, but maybe even late Q1, like in March.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll happen then, because it's ready. They just need to hit the button.
Ah, yeah, that's crazy. Sheesh.
So with that, like, where do you actually see VV by the end of this year, the end of 2022?
Assuming that we do have a crypto winter / bear market starting at
Yeah.
some point, second half of the year, maybe end of summer, I would say by the end of the year, when we're well into the bear market crypto winter, probably 8 to 10 cents still, assuming that we get to 30 cents beforehand.
Oh man,
At the height of the bull market, and before we go.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I think
for
by
me-
yeah.
For
probably-
me, at least,
probably have-
I'd say 5 cents for OMI is what I'm anticipating by the end of the year, and that's just kind of like a
Is that
lower
assuming
expectation.
we're in the bear market, or do you think super cycle?
I think we're in super cycle right now. Right now, it's just kind of like a weird correction, just because of pandemic stuff and a lot of things going on in the world. But overall, we're still generally up, I suppose. It just doesn't feel like that.
If we're
Yeah.
in a super cycle and we don't
Yeah.
have a crypto winter,
Yeah.
50 cents is not out of the question.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That is, yeah, golden goose type of scenario. Everything goes right. Everything goes well with marketing. No delays. We get 20 million users on board. And super cycle, we don't. Yeah, 50 cents.
I mean, look at it right now, right? Like if you cryptos right now is correcting right now, but the NFTs or the digital collectibles in the VVs, they've just been independent from everything right now, right? Like, I mean, it's just amazing to see how they're surviving during this time.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah,
A lot of the users aren't into crypto at all. They don't know about Bitcoin or anything, so it's like they're not really kind of related, or they don't care about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin crashes, who cares? I'm gonna go buy me a Todd or something still.
Yeah, that's what I love about this. You don't need to be crypto. I do feel bad for some people that will be in countries that MTL will not allow, where they get into this app, let's say, because they don't have to buy Ethereum and they don't have to wrap it, and so they just put in money.
yeah,
But then they have to learn about crypto because they can't cash out to fiat. They would have to sell their NFTs for OMI and then transfer OMI. They'd have to make like a Coinbase or a KuCoin or a Kraken or something.
yeah.
So I do feel bad for that.
Yeah, it's just like an extra step, and then possibly more fees that they have to go through.
Yeah.
Just to cash out.
It's gonna suck a lot with. I mean, especially if you're going to Ethereum, like the gas fees are insane. So, I mean, hopefully they have a solution for that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like with our knowledge of crypto, I mean, that's one thing that I wanted to try to help the VV community with, is that I feel like there's a lot of people that aren't familiar with crypto, and I've been in crypto for nearly a decade, so it's like something I'm really familiar with, and I feel like I could really help people that aren't familiar with it actually get a little more familiar with crypto and what they actually have to do. So I'm gonna try to release some videos that actually can kind of assist through the process for those that do need assisting as far as converting to crypto and maybe cashing out that way instead.
Do you guys know who Crypto Rain is?
Nope.
No, is it on Twitter, YouTube, or?
He's on YouTube. He's
Okay.
on. He does some. He's a crypto
Rain,
investor
like
in general.
Rain, like RAIN or
Yeah,
RE? Okay.
RAIN.
Rain,
Romeo
okay.
Alpha India November. And he, before he was on Taps's channel,
Yeah.
he had made a video, and he's been in crypto for years.
Yeah.
He got in, got beat up in 2017 or 2018 when everything went.
Yeah.
Bitcoin at like 17,
We all did, man. We all did. Yeah.
But he afterward, kind of rose from the ashes, made a butt ton of money, and then what he did was he got he just, that's all he does now, and he's older than me. He's more successful, and he's been in crypto longer. So not as long as crypto has been for 10 years, or you guys, but 4 years. And he says the way that he sees OMI and the exchanges and everything. He says when people say OMI should hit $1, he says they are wrong. OMI should not hit $1 this year. But then he says it probably will, because people will chase green candles. People that don't know what they're doing, they say, "Yo, this was at a penny, like a few weeks ago. Now it's at 20 cents. I'm gonna put everything in before it goes to like." Some people don't even look at like the market cap. Like, this is, like, 1/1000th of a dollar. What if it goes to $1? Not realizing the market cap. They just see that, they just see it's really cheap. And he says that's what'll probably happen with a lot of people that are just new and young, and they haven't been punched in the face before, financially, and they'll probably push it to $1. And I thought, like, okay, maybe he had some whiskey and he was just doing like a drunk ramble, but he repeated this on Tap Trade stream where he was coherent for over an hour, and Taps asked him about it. He said, "Yeah, probably $1." And Taps is like, "Girl."
Taps is very conservative too, so it was like, whoa.
Yeah. Taps is super conservative.
Dude, I love Taps. I roomed with him at DesignerCon. He is like my homie. He's so cool, man. He's so chill.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, there's a lot of people that FOMO in. Like look at Shiba. I mean, that's pretty much what happened. People FOMO in. It's like, oh, it's so cheap right now. Wait till it gets like $1,000 or something, and you're like, come on, like you got to understand like what you're investing in.
Yeah, of course, there was an opportunity, right? Like, to make money in that, but long term wise, like you just can't hodl something like that, right? With such a high supply, and a lot of people don't really understand that. So,
yeah, there's a lot of things you kind of have to learn. Like I've had so many bad things happen and so many mistakes. Like I no longer like, this is why I'm iffy with like the OMI migration. Part of it is really due to security. Like I'm very uncomfortable with keeping my OMI on like Bit4x, and I'm also pretty uncomfortable keeping it on the VEVE app, because I've lost a ton of money on a lot of exchanges in the past that have just disappeared, and there's nothing you can do about that. So for whatever reason, if Bit4x goes offline, it's like, there goes your OMI. Like you can't do anything about it. Or if something happens to the VEVE app, if they get hacked or something happens, then at the same time there's a risk to it. So it's always better to keep it on like a personal wallet. And that's kind of like my thing about it. Is like, I want to stake it, I want to put it aside, but at the same time it's like, how much am I willing to lose in case something happens here or whatnot, so that's a lot of things to consider.
That's why I have but so I God forbid somehow a trust wallet gets hacked, I have 6 of them, and there's like 20 million in each, give or take, a couple million here and there, and they're in 6 different locations, and they're so it's crazy.
Smart man. Yeah,
it's bananas.
Yeah, so I usually typically, like when I've done like crypto trading in the past, is I've always taken my profits and I've always converted it back to either Ethereum or Bitcoin, and I've always just stuck that into my ledger and just left that alone. So I've always done my trading on the exchanges. Whatever profit I've had, I've always taken it out and put it aside. That's always been a safe way to go ever since. Like, man, like there's so many. It's like I've lost so much. Like, it's nothing that you want to go through again, because it's happened to me 4 times, and it's like, it's not anything I want to go through again. So I'm like more super cautious, like where I leave my stuff. And yeah, I mean, I trust, more than likely, like if I can, I would at least send it to like my MetaMask, because at least that is off of an exchange. And that's going to be something that I think a lot of OMI hOMIes are going to actually have to learn to use as well, is like using their MetaMask or learning to use these their own personal wallets. Because I mean, when you're transferring to Immutable or wherever you want to go, that's going to be like your bridge across all these platforms.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it'll also, I mean, especially as people get older, or as the younger people get older, they'll figure it out very easily, and it'll be very commonplace. It'll be very commonplace in the next few years, because everyone's going to do it.
Yeah,
like in 10 years.
The dApps are great, because if you think about it, like everything is simply connecting your wallet and all your information for whatever that site is there. Like that's so convenient versus going in, logging in with a password every time. And it's like, all you got to do is connect your wallet. That platform can see like everything that's on your wallet, all your NFTs. Like that's really convenient. Like going into gaming, now you're just like connecting your wallet, and all your in-game items or whatnot are all stored from your wallet, and you don't have to worry about it. Everything's in one place. And I think it's super convenient, the whole all dApps and the whole blockchain platform. I'm really excited for where that takes not just VEVE, but I'm a big gamer, so I'm excited for like gaming itself, and really hoping that VEVE actually implements some gaming aspects to it as well.
Yeah,
like I'm watching like Ready Player One, when they're like attacking and fighting, and it's like you're collecting coins off of like whomever you kill or whatnot. Like maybe we'll get some OMI tokens from that.
We were talking about this. We were talking about this yesterday, and I was thinking, like, I feel like Nintendo is in the behind the scenes, and I feel like they're gonna be the next possible big name player in this whole gamification for whether it be VEVE and Disney. And I don't know, I just feel like Nintendo is just kind of on the quiet and slowly working in behind the scenes, and it'll be exciting to see, right? To see if they are the ones making this game for the VEVE version and stuff like that. So I think that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, no, agreed. I would definitely. And there's so much content. There's so many characters. just in the Mario universe alone,
Oh yeah, for sure.
there's hundreds, if not thousands. And again, even even just take like, oh, hey, there's a Goomba. But if you go in the lore, there's so many different Goombas. Go to the Koopas. There's so many Koopas.
Yeah.
There's, go into the lore of the games. There's so many. I actually wrote a story once about how one of the I forget her name. One of the magic Koopas, she puts a spell on Mario, and Mario becomes evil, and he winds up killing Bowser and imprisoning Luigi, and takes over Bowser's kingdom. And he goes in and he uses, he tries to, and he does this like civil war to invade the Mushroom Kingdom and force Princess Peach to sign a treaty so that the Mushroom Kingdom becomes part of Bowser's Kingdom, or is now Mario Kingdom.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. But there's like all of these sides being taken. There's the Boos coming in. There's like the Toads that are just getting like destroyed. There's Thwoms. There's Koopas. All people in Donkey Kong who are just like, well, we didn't see Mario helping out when Donkey Kong's banana horde was taken, so we're gonna peace out on this one. Like, deuces, guys. And so it's real. It gets really awesome. It gets really cool. I would love to send that to Nintendo one day. Like, hey, I have an idea for like your.
That'd be a badass game, like an evil Mario type kind of ordeal. So.
Yeah, I can't wait. Cammy is her name. That's the evil Koopa.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Kind of wind this. Let's see. Gooseneck had one more thing. He said his price prediction for OMI is $1 in 4 years. That's pretty conservative, I think.
Yeah, 2026 is definitely that's definitely doable. That is definitely. I mean, that figure, if we go through the bear cycle, that's starting this year, and then the bear cycle will probably be very short. Say 2 years. We go at 2024, 2025. Then we really start the next bull. Yeah, 2026 seems really good. Yeah. Is that your guys' opinion too? You think the next bear market will be really short?
I feel like it has been shorter, but I don't know. I don't want to say that we are in a bear market, but then again, I don't want to be too naive and thinking like we're still in a bull run market or whatever at this point. But
didn't you say we're going to be we're in a super cycle though?
Yeah.
Or some correction?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to say like we're in a bear market at this moment. I think that,
I mean, the next time a bear market takes place, it'll probably be pretty short. Because when's the next Bitcoin halving? 24?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, and that'll be like
what it just happened like to
20 in 20 when did it happen? 2019 or 2020? The previous halving. 20. Yeah,
so 2024 again. Even if we start the bear cycle like tomorrow, 2 years, and right back in it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but that's the best time to really like
accumulate.
Get in before. Yeah, exactly. So I don't see a bear market as a bad thing.
It's
opportunity.
Great.
Opportunity.
Yeah, I don't want to think that OMI is actually linked to Bitcoin, because I feel like the way the collectibles are and how they're performing is OMI in a way is going to begin to be independent of Bitcoin and whatever cycle is going through. Because I feel like with the VeVeVerse out and everything, if the VeVeVerse is out and you're able to spend OMI and all these accessories, like with the supply burning like at who knows what rate, I think that will make OMI way more independent from Bitcoin, just because if you're burning so much supply and it's dropping in value, that's kind of hard to put in, because at the same time you're going to see like OMI dropping. Let's say it's like a top 10 coin and all of a sudden you see it like, oh, now it's like a top 50 coin because it's going with the bear market and the coin is burning as well. And to me, that doesn't make as much sense. I see that since it's so deflationary, that, I mean, who knows how it is, because I feel like the VeVeVerse, so much money or OMI could be burnt because of games like Fortnite and stuff, when people are spending just so much money on things like every day. Like if people are spending that much in the VeVeVerse, I think the burns are going to be so insane that even with Bitcoin going down, I feel like the price of OMI is going to go up or something. Like it's really hard to tell without knowing how crazy the VeVeverse can be, or not just the VeVeverse, like OMI utility on like multiple platforms. Like if it is on IMX as a token that you can use to buy and purchase other NFTs and stuff, like that could be causing burns. That also, like with the growth of IMX, that also increases the burn rate that can happen on that platform for OMI token as well. And you never know how much burning can take place to really say that all of a sudden OMI's market cap drops from like $1 trillion to 500 mil because we're in a bear market, which like maybe some insane number or something, you know. I feel like OMI can be independent of Bitcoin by that time.
Yeah, no, same. I think we've already kind of proven that it is, just because it doesn't really track the ebbs and flows of the market. It's attached to the collectibles, and we definitely do not have a demand issue. There's always people buying collectibles. Again, like I said yesterday, 100 million OMI burned, and there's no drop. So people are buying and selling a bunch of stuff. We're having a party. It's a good time.
So we're reaching our time here. You want to close with one final question there for Randy, A5?
Yeah, let's do. Let's do it. Let's do this. How about? Do you think Pokemon has the potential to surpass Marvel, DC, or Disney? And if so, where would you rank it between those top name brands?
So I might get.
And I know you're kind of biased because you're a big Pokemon person, but I'd love to hear your answer.
I mean, I like Marvel movies more than I like DC, but or the DC EU, but that's because the DC EU has had just horrible luck with, like, they've done some really good casting, but the writing hasn't been good. And if you take a look at what comics sell for the most, well, you know, Marvel's comic #1, you know, that I think that was on auction. It was on auction last week, and it was like a grade like 4.5 or something. It was selling for like, what was that selling for? Like, it was like $250,000 something, and that was just a bit at the time.
Yeah,
you know, a 9 might go for a couple million or several million, but a Marvel #1, I mean, a DC, that first one with Superman, that completely outclasses it. It's just in another you know, if that's an A tier, you know, that DC comic would be in an S tier. And if you go and, you know, look at the comics, I think a lot of the DC comics do outperform Marvel, but because of the way Marvel is, I would put them above DC in the collectibles region. But I would also say that currently Marvel would be better than Disney because of what's out there right now. Disney, I think, you know, what were the Disney golden moments? You have the partner statue, which is great. You have Elsa, which is the first Disney princess. Yeah. But you have Homer and Bart, which is Fox. You have R2-D2, C-3PO, which is Star Wars. Wally is Pixar. The car is Pixar. Yeah. You know, Iron Man and the Avengers logo is Marvel. Yeah. So they really only have 2 out there. And Elsa hasn't done amazingly. She did increase like 50% today, from like 1,000 to 1,500. Yeah. And Walt is obviously, you know, has been mooning, but I think so Marvel is definitely bigger than it right now. But, you know, what happens when they come out with Simba, you know, and Mufasa, you know, and they come out with Mulan and Little Mermaid and stuff. I'm pretty sure Disney would start to take the top, but Pokemon, I'll tell you right now, the only time I've ever spent more than $5,000 on, or more than $10,000 on any one thing, was 3 times. Or, 3 times. It was the Eddie Rissos. I spent like $3,000 on one, and then I spent $7,200 on another. That was $10K. Yeah. 14 alligator Lokis totals definitely more than 10,000. And the sub 100 ultra rare Spiderman, I spent 12,700 on. Even my number 47 Secret Rare Captain America, I only spent 9K on. Amazing steal. But with Pokemon, it doesn't have to be something special. It doesn't have to be a crazy deal. I'll spend $100,000 on that out the gate, freaking gate. Lewis Morgan, who I had on my podcast, says like, yeah, going hard on these secret rare these Charizards, whatever. I don't think Charizard would be the secret rare. I think we'd have like Mewtwo or Mew as a secret rare.
Yeah.
Because Charizard, you know,
it'll be interesting to see how they release it.
Yeah,
are they gonna do like here's your starter pack, and then you have like Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander? Like it'll be interesting how they do it.
I mean, they've got to know that the demand is going to be there for Pokemon, so I feel like the supply will be pretty high, but these are still going to sell out, and they're going to appreciate so much just because.
Yeah. And a lot of the collectibles that I had were basically wound up just being cannon fodder. Like I sold a lot to go into Alligator Lokis. I'm gonna sell that second Eddie Riso. I'm gonna sell that that Captain America, that Secret Rare Storm. The ones that are really low mint, and the Ultra Spider-Man, and that's all. That's all probably gonna be for Pokemon, and not including the money that I still So. And I get I'm probably in a really niche position where everyone loves Pokemon. Not everyone's gonna have your money. Understand that 100%. But Lewis Morgan does, and like I definitely represent at least a couple of people, if not a couple dozen, or maybe even a couple hundred of people. I don't know. Yeah. And Pokemon I won't sell. I've sold a lot of other stuff. I will always keep all the Marvels. At least one of them. But I'll keep all the Pokemon. Like I'll keep all the Alligator Loki, and I'll keep all the Pokemon I get.
Alligator Gang.
Are you gonna try to collect every first generation Pokemon? Or are you going after every single one?
Yeah, I have every single Marvel one. I will have every single Pokemon.
That's good.
Crazy. Yeah,
and I don't care what it costs.
Awesome. All right. Well, we don't. Yeah, we don't want to take too much of your time. So yeah, we really appreciate you coming on, Randy. It was a great time.
Your wisdom and your knowledge, man, greatly appreciate it so much, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go hunting for some Alligator Lokis right after this.
Yeah, I might just have to buy one just because I want to be a part of the gang. You know what I mean?
So I'll try to go, and if you guys want to watch me again, I'll probably stream in like another hour and a half or so, maybe 11. Oh, what time is it where you guys are right now?
Central time, so it's around 8:30.
Oh, okay. If you guys are still up, I don't know if you have things to do.
We'll definitely be.
I'll swing by. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'll post out on Twitter when I'm going live, where I'm going live, and all that.
Dope, dope.
Yeah.
All right, peace, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you so much,
Thanks
man.
for coming,
Thank you,
Randy.
Thanks everybody who joined in for the live stream and the comments and the question. Gator Gang hashtag. Yes, what's up? Who's that? Zach.
Gator Gang.
Yeah, Gator Gang. Let's go. Appreciate you guys joining in on this episode of Meet the Homies with Randy Chavez, man. So like and subscribe to this video, leave a comment, and give us all a follow on Twitter, so you guys get an update on what we're doing. So, and like we always mention, Randy Chavez.
We always say
we all gonna make it.
We're all gonna
make it, baby.
We're all gonna make it. All right, peace, guys.
All right, brother. Take
care.
Yeah.